my name is Lindy Sherries and I used to be a Sangoma. In this channel, I talk about everything, guys. Abokorobela, the secrets that we were taught not to share with you guys, how we used to trick you guys, the spirits, how everything works when you go to a Sangoma for consultation, Yamatambo. So whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, please check out this channel so we can talk about it. If you believe in God, let's share the gospel. If you don't believe in God, you can check out the channel too. I want to hear your opinion, and I want people to actually share their opinion, not insulting me without saying why. Thank you, and I'll see you on my channel.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me. My name is Uncle Solomon. Good to be with you such a time as this. Hope you're doing very well today. Having a great weekend. Well, let me know what you're doing this weekend. Comment. Let me know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel Solomon's Temple. Make sure you also share, like some of the videos, and check out some of the videos that we produce over the years. Importantly, I offer YouTube training for those people who are looking at making extra money from creating YouTube content. That's one of the fastest ways and best ways if you're interested in content creation to make money, extra money. Some people have made it actually their main job. But if you are interested, reach out to me on this number on the screen. For a small fee that I charge, I offer coaching and training on how to effectively use YouTube to get some sort of financial incentive. So I'm a big fan of the Olympic Games, and the Olympic Games, Paris Olympics opening ceremony was yesterday. Now, I've been to, I think, four Olympic Games. As a journalist, I was a student in 2004 when I went to the Olympic Games in Athens, in Greece. My first one, very memorable. In 2008, I went to the one in Beijing, in China. And 2012, I went to the one in London. And then 2016, I went to the one in Rio, in Brazil. So I'm a huge sporting person, right? I did quite a lot in sports journalism, through Olympic Games, World Cup, and other things. And, when I see sports, I go there as a Christian journalist, covering Christian contents. I get to interview all these sporting people and look at the ethics and morality within sports and all that kind of thing, just create conversations. So it was sad for me when I was watching the Olympic Games opening ceremony yesterday with my kids. I was actually celebrating how the French are very arty, how the cinematography came in very strong, how they got, celebrating women, how Zinedine Zidane, we know him, Zizou, the French footballer, carried the flame at one point. But then he got to a place, after the parades and all that, where there are a lot of elements that became very anti-Christian, actually an attack on Christianity. Well, first attack on Christianity that I want to bring to your attention there is this one here. Look at the picture, right? The one on top is the one we had yesterday, where the place of Jesus was taken by a woman, right? No problem. But then the disciples now represent as transgender people. So this is a depiction, it's a straight recreation of the Last Supper. We know the Last Supper. We know the importance of the Last Supper in the life of our faith and also as a very huge pillar of our faith. So they recreated it, right? And put gay people, transgender people, and everybody all together in there. Now, I don't think we should, as Christians, have a problem when people recreate the Last Supper or some of the Christian elements. But when they do it in a way that it is degrading, in a way that it is eroding what the picture really is or what it really represents, then there is a problem. But then, of course, there's nothing you can do about it except to create conversations like this, because that is what some people call art. You push the boundaries. That was not the only thing we saw there. We saw the horse, the Trojan horse, how it was moving. And I was like, oh, wow. I was even talking to my son about it. Anyway, let me bring you back to this. So on the table of the Last Supper, as you can see, there's a man here. You can see how he's dressed. Transgender, all dress. You can see what that represents. Not just that, but that came from this. You can see this photo of a woman with beards. You can see that this is a man. And all of these elements were there yesterday. Here's another one here, the one that I just showed you. You can see. On the table of the Last Supper, which is this one here. So we've seen quite a lot of attack on Christianity, and unfortunately, it was almost like turning the city of Paris into a Sodom and Gomorrah, and they actually giving us an indication and forcing this into our lives. I'm glad my son watching with him yesterday, he didn't understand any of it, but obviously I have to speak to him about it. Say, look, hey, this is what art does. This is what music does. Sometimes they bring all of these elements because they don't believe in the Jesus that we believe in. And it was the biggest audience that you could ever think of, because, you know, the Olympic Games is like second to the Soccer World Cup when it comes to audiences. So they want to create all these elements of conversations and make it look like it's very normal. Now, here is a video by a reverend who watched the Olympic Games, and this is what he has to say. And I think it's a very good perspective on it. And watch it and listen.
This is Bishop Barron. You know, just a few days ago, I was in Indianapolis for the marvelous celebration of the Eucharistic Congress. 50,000 Catholics coming together to worship the Lord and celebrate the real presence of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. So I come from that experience, and I come home, and you know, I love the Olympics, so I turn on the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. What do I see now? And it's in Paris, France, a city I love. I spent 3 years as a doctoral student there. What do I see but this gross mockery of the Last Supper? And I won't describe it any further. Just go online. It's gone viral. You can see it. But this, France felt evidently, as it's trying to put its best cultural foot forward, the right thing to do is to mock this very central moment in Christianity where Jesus, at his Last Supper, gives his body and blood in anticipation of the cross. And so it's presented, though, as this gross, sort of flippant mockery. France, which used to be called the eldest daughter of the church, Paris, that gave us Thomas Aquinas taught there, and Vincent de Paul was there, King Louis IX, St. Louis, France that sent Catholic missionaries all over the world. France, whose culture, and I mean the honoring of the individual and of human rights and of freedom, is grounded very much in Christianity, felt the right thing to do was to mock the Christian faith. The question I would pose, we all know the answer to it. Would they ever have dared mock Islam in a similar way? Would they ever have dreamed of mocking in this gross, public way, a scene from the Quran? As I say, we all know the answer to that. I think, folks, what's interesting here is this deeply secularist postmodern society knows who its enemy is. They're naming it, and we should believe them. They're telling us who they are. We should believe them. But furthermore, we Christians, we Catholics should not be sheepish. We should resist. We should make our voices heard.
So there you go. A bishop there just explaining his own perspective from what he saw and what happened in the opening ceremony. And that's what it is. The Last Supper is a very central part of Christianity. And this is what they have depicted it into. Turning Jesus into a transgender person with gay people all around representing his disciples. I think a lot of nations are afraid of Christianity. That's why they mock in Christianity this way. And you also have to understand, like he said, Would they ever take anything Islam and mock it this way? They would never do that. They would never do that. Because, I mean, you and I know that Islam, they say Islam is a religion of peace, but obviously it has shown that the contrary. But Christianity in itself is a religion of peace and love. And we must create conversations like this. We must be critical. We must teach our kids and teach ourselves how to critically look at elements. A lot of people look at certain elements and not understand what it is. They will look at certain elements in a video, in a movie, in music, listen to it. You have to ask yourself, is this glorifying God? What is this saying about women? What is this saying about gender? What is this saying about sex? What is this saying about morality? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Because if you don't ask yourself, you're going to be carried away and you become one of the so many that is being converted by this worldview that is penetrating the nations of the earth. But Jesus is always Lord at the end of the day. Have a great day.